Hi, this is Joe Rabil with Rabil Stock Research. I will be presenting your daily 5 today, and I'm a bottom-up stock picker, which means I go through thousands of individual stocks each week looking for attractive candidates over the next 3 to 6 months. I like to use MACD and ADX to help refine my stock picks, and I'll show you kind of how I do that during the course of this segment. So what I'm using for this segment is actually a live version of StockCharts ACP. I love how it allows me to put multiple time frames up, and I've got a monthly chart in the bottom left, a weekly in the bottom right, daily in the upper right, and then I do have another weekly in the upper left, but I like to show the relative strength by itself, so that's why I've got an extra weekly there. All the other charts have MACD and ADX on each of the time frames. So let's just get started. So HSIC is the first stock for the daily 5 today, and let's just focus in on the monthly. If you notice, we've had a stock that really has been going sideways and bumping its head on resistance, in the low 70s for quite some time, several years. And the ADX pattern shows a low ADX. This blue line, when it's low, is basically telling you that there's no trend. And what I have found over the years is that when the ADX stays low for a significant period of time, it's usually prepping or storing energy for a move. So I'm always on the lookout for stocks that are forming a pattern, like a sideways pattern or a triangle or rectangle or ascending triangles, anything like that, with low ADX. And I like to draw trend lines on the price and then look for a breakout. And in this situation, I also like to go to the weekly chart, and we'll take a peek at this. So we can see the weekly chart has broken out, and we're starting to see improvement in the ADX. The ADX has now broken above the 25 line. 25 line is a pretty good barometer for trend strength. If the ADX gets above 25, that tends to mean that the stock is in a strong enough position to start trending. And so we've got this stock in a position after going sideways, finally breaking out. I always like to wait after a breakout. I like to see some type of a test of the breakout area. We're seeing that here with this recent pullback, and it looks like it wants to hold. So I view that as a pretty attractive pattern from that standpoint. Let's go ahead and go on to the next stock. So SFM, again, I want you to focus in on the monthly chart and notice how since 2015, it's really been going sideways, sort of bumping its head on resistance at 30. But it's been sort of a quiet sideways pattern. If we look at the ADX, since 2018, you've had a low ADX pattern in place. And that is, I think, put it in a position where we want to start looking for signs of buyers showing up. And, if you notice here, the green DI, which is, again, sort of shows the strength of the buyers, is crossing above the 25 line. So that's a little bit of an early warning sign that maybe this is getting ready to break out. If we go and look at the weekly chart, again, when I look at ADX, I like to look for strength on the lower time frame, in this case the weekly. And when it's showing strength, it's telling me the odds are increasing that we have a chance of breaking out above this 30. So it gives you sort of an early warning signal as a chance to maybe buy as a probe trade before this actually takes out the key level at 30. So I just like the improving conditions that are taking place. Certainly this big base that's been moving sideways is prepping for something. Let's go ahead and look at the next stock is Colfax CFX. This is a little bit different, although the monthly chart has been kind of cupping around for a while. It didn't have this extreme low ADX pattern, but I like how the price structure is improving and we're breaking out, getting above some key resistance levels. And if we look at the weekly chart, we took out this key level. After the big decline here, it recovered pretty quickly. And again, now we've got rising moving averages. I got an 18 simple moving average on the weekly and a 40-week moving average. And both are rising underneath it. And, I'd like to see a little bit more strength coming into this. If we go down to the daily chart, I would probably be looking for this to take out from a horizontal standpoint. I'd like to see this have kind of like a strong day or two to really kind of prove that it's coming out of this mid 40 area. When we have low ADX, I like to look for breakouts. I don't like to necessarily jump the gun or buy pullbacks when ADX is low. I'd rather look for breakouts in that situation. Let's go ahead and look at our next stock for today is Verisign. So similar theme in that I'm looking for these sideways patterns on a price basis on the monthly. And if you notice, this is a little bit different because in this situation, it made a really strong move to the upside and has moved sideways. So we have a really strong ADX condition that has now worked off the sort of overbought condition, and it's back down to like 13. So this is sort of a sideways condition, and it looks like it's getting ready to try and break out. The weekly chart, again, has gone sort of sideways here, and it's pausing at that high. I don't like to buy breakouts when a stock makes a move from oversold to overbought and then breaks out. I'd rather see it consolidate like it's doing, and then if it emerges out of this again and sort of makes another move to the upside, then I'd feel a lot more interested in this. But I do like the shape of the pattern. I like the size of the base, and I think it's still on the early side. Let's go ahead and look at CRWD. So CrowdStrike. So I wanted to bring this up. I could have showed you a number of other stocks. In fact, I'm just going to quickly pull up a few others. If you look at NET, Cloudflare, if we look at Team, and look at the similarities in these patterns, especially on the weekly chart, or if we looked at Zscaler, it's sort of a recurring theme for me. These are stocks that are, I would call they are like the QQQ Junior. They're parts of the QQQJ, and it's like the next generation QQQ. So it's not in the very top of the Qs, but these are stocks that are emerging, good companies that seem to have a lot of sponsorship. I think good ones to be on the lookout for, and I think they give us a real good feel for where people are in terms of looking at growth, and especially aggressive growth. And if you notice what took place, I'm just going to focus on the weekly chart for this crowd. So you made this big move to the upside, and we had a couple of pullbacks, kind of like bull flags, right? Bull flag here, and now we make a big move. And now I think we're getting a more complex correction after making a couple of nice trading moves off of these bull flags on the weekly. And so, what typically follows is we go sideways. I was actually expecting these to spend a little bit more time working sideways, maybe let the 18 and the 40 sort of meet up together. But based on the recent action, I think you have to have respect for this. And again, look at how the ADX was really high, up almost 60, and it's dropped down to 13. So it has worked off what I would consider to be a pretty extreme overbought condition. And the price pattern has just gone sideways during this time. So I view that as a pretty bullish scenario here. The one thing I would tell you about these stocks, they are incredibly volatile. All the ones that I pulled up have a very high average true range, lots of movement, lots of noise. So if you're going to play these types of patterns emerging out of here, I would suggest you give them a little bit more room than you would the average holding. Just the type of environment that we're in, and the fact that the market really hasn't made, a lot of these stocks just haven't made a full decision that they're moving to the upside. My suggestion is, you can play the strength starting to show up, but maybe just give them a little bit more room, or maybe play a slightly smaller position than you normally would. So I hope you enjoyed this segment. You can find my research on rabilstockresearch.com, or feel free to contact me through LinkedIn or email. In addition, I do have a YouTube channel teaching investors how to trade in multiple time frames. I wrote a book with the same name, and the video expand on those concepts. Trade well, and I will see you next time.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.